All right, it's been about 7 months since I looked at Assetto Corsa EVO. And reason for that is that when I initially tested it, I had a lot of bad things go wrong. Performance was horrible. Driving experience was not great. Configuration was clunky, difficult to manage, and I just didn't have a good time. And everything I heard from all the other reviewers didn't sway my opinion differently over the last 7 months. So they just released, well, not exactly released, an O.3 version of Evo, and done a lot of changes. A lot of things have been refined. The reports have not been glowing from people that have actually taken a look and done videos on it. But I thought it was worth taking a look at it for a couple of different reasons. One is, one of my main gripes was that I couldn't get triples to work. So triple screens weren't working right. Uh, they still don't natively. So the way that triples can be made to work is actually a little inelegant. It requires something known as a simple runtime window editor. Dan Suzuki did a whole video around this and how it's configured. So I'll point you to his website and I'll find the video. I'll put a link in the description. But the bottom line is that there is a way to now support triples in Evo, which is nice. And so given the fact that they have added Spa, added Red Bull Ring, added the Cayman, which is a cool car to drive, and a few other interesting cars in this latest release, I thought I would go on ahead and give it a try. Now, I said released sort of. What I mean by that is that you have to subscribe to the beta in your Steam library to get access to O.3 currently. Now, they will be releasing it, I think, to general population that have invested in the early access program as it is, and so you'll get access to it. But right now, it's a beta only. What I thought I'd do today is drive a little race against AI, 5-lap race in the Cayman at Red Bull Ring. And then I thought I'd pick another car and maybe do a race at Spa, just so we see the two new tracks and at least two of the cars. A lot of the cooler cars have gotten coverage in other videos, so I'll cover ones that I have not seen anybody do a video on, one of which will be the Cayman. I'm not bluffing about triples actually working. We'll actually show you here. We do have triples working in Evo, and so you can see the full garage left to right. Super cool. And that will make for a fun drive. The other thing that I will show really quickly is that if we go into drive in single player mode, I've set the skill level for the AI at 95 to 100%. You can't change their behavior to be anything other than safe. Put 14 opponents on the road, and I've set up a race for 5 laps. And that's what we're going to do here in the Cayman. So let's go ahead and jump in. Guys like to bump into each other a lot. drives a little funny. It's tough. Both here. Already doing better than I did in last night's race against AI and Assetto Corsa in the Porsche Cup. So this is pretty good. Now, I've done some things to my force feedback to make it actually feel all right. I'm getting a lot more feels in the wheel than I was last time I drove this. So they've improved some things, and then I also did some setup stuff that makes it a little better too. Once you pass the AI, they just sort of drop off, like they give up. It's a little unrealistic. Yeah, I got by him and he just dropped. A lot of you may be thinking, but multiplayer, right? Well, I haven't tested that out yet. I may do another video on that. I'm not going to test that now. I will say this, it's better. Is it ready for general consumption? I don't think so. And the reason why I still say that is my favorite car in this so far is the 964. Porsche 964 is not a car that I want to track. I want to take that car out on an open road somewhere, and that is still not an option here. So, I'm in first place now, in the final lap. And I'm already 7/10 ahead of the 8/10 ahead of the first place car that I just passed. So the AI is not great yet. Because as you saw, 95 to 100%. And it probably varies by track and car, just like any other sim. So we'll take a look here really quickly at the settings. So my fastest lap was a 37.308. It's my last lap. And if we look at P1, 41.283 was his fastest lap. So yeah, the AI is not up to snuff. I shouldn't be 3 seconds faster a lap than the AI. Replays do work, so that's kind of cool. So I can go up here to replay and can actually save that. So that's awesome. And it looks crispy. Only thing I don't like, it doesn't have a photo mode yet. But you could potentially, I guess, pause a replay in motion here and do a screen capture. So something I wanted to actually show you really quickly is the settings that I'm actually using here for force feedback that are worth looking at here. So we'll don't jump into here. We'll look in controls, into settings. And so a couple of things that I actually did is I set the force feedback gain. I've got my Simucube Pro wheelbase set at 100% and all configured the way I like it. And then I'm controlling the gain in the game to be manageable. Got the gain down to 40%. I set the dynamic damping to 40%. Minimum damper I got to 0, damper gain 0, true force gain 100, and then down here in the enhancements, curb effects, I've got it set at 25%, road effects at 20%, tire slip effects 10%, and ABS effects at 15%. And this feels okay. Everything else is pretty much how it comes. And that's to get the best feel that I could get out of my wheelbase. So when I was in corners there in that race and I was getting a little bit sideways, I could feel that in the wheel. I could feel the tire slip. I could feel the road. I could feel the curbing really well. So I'm getting force feedback dynamics in the wheel and it feels pretty good. I think that what I've heard most people complain about the most is that despite getting the feedback in the wheel, it feels muddy. like you're in a pool full of Jell-O, trying to move through it. Let's take another look at a different car. Let's go into single player again. What's the other car that I wanted to give a go to? I think it was the BMW. Yeah. So they have the GT3 EVO BMW here. So let's give that a go. Confirm. And we'll jump out at Spa. And I haven't driven Spa, and I haven't driven this car. But let's go ahead and do a quick race anyway. Let's see how we do. I won't promise anything, because I did actually do some driving with the Cayman at Red Bull Ring before I did this video. I've not done the same here, so I don't even know what I'm getting myself into. But let's see what it feels like. All right. Guys aren't giving up so much after I pass them, which is good. Damn it! That's just embarrassing. So slow. I had nowhere to go but to cut the track. slow down so much. Brake really early. Turn me, bitch. What an asshole. They defensively drive a lot. I guess defending isn't horrible. Should have been a third there. this guy in now? Why did he hit? Ah, damn it. Second time I didn't go all the way down a second there like I should have. And everybody else hit? They must have. Plenty to finish, though. That's really interesting. I know I had 2 bad laps in there because I wound up off the track there. Last one was a 221.057 if I hadn't cut the course coming through Eau Rouge. 223.691 legitimate. Let's look at the E1 car. No time? Well, that seems like a bug. So there are a lot of other things that were added into this, several other cars. One of the ones that I think is really interesting that I want to eventually drive is the Caterham. This is an interesting little car, the Super Trofeo, which is a tremendously fun car to drive in other sims. The one that everybody's raving about and talking the most about is the Ferrari F2004. Probably one of the best, if not the best, F1 cars in ever existence. Schumacher took it to several championships, and good car. Good car. There's also an Audi in here that's interesting, the RS3 Sportback. It looks like a fun car. Very few glowing reviews of Evo in this iteration. And I understand what every one of them has had to say, and I don't disagree with it, but maybe they need to take a 7-month break. One of the life lessons that I have learned over the course of my product management career is that your gauge of success is almost always directly proportional to the odds that you have overcome, the challenges that you have overcome, and to deliver what you've delivered. And so, from that perspective, I think that Kunos is very happy with this. They're very proud of this, and I think they have a right to be, because the first couple of releases and the delays and length of time that it's taken to get to places, they even came out and quite literally said mea culpa, that they overestimated their capabilities to deliver a finished product in the timeline that they originally proposed, and they're still working on it. Kudos to them for continuing on the fight and making such a marked improvement. Like I said, maybe you need to take a break for 7 months and come back to it after 7 months and go, wow, they've really made some progress in that time. Because I can say that. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Is it a sim that I'm going to drive all the time? Well, no. As I said, my favorite car in this is the Porsche 964, and I want to run that on an open road somewhere. And until they support modding, until they have some stretches of road that are available to drive, this sim is going to be an also ran for me. It is not Assetto Corsa 1. I think that there's promise. I think the graphics are gorgeous. I think that they need to stop using the little inflatable men everywhere around every track, because that's getting old. But other than that, the graphics are gorgeous. The cars are gorgeous. The AI needs some work, needs to have some broader range, perhaps, because running them at 100%, they're not that good still. So there's some work there. I'm not that good of a driver. So the fact that I was able to, in 5 laps, pass 14 AI cars set at 95 to 100% is obscene. And that needs some work. I hope you had some fun. I hope that this has been somewhat informative. I know you've probably been bombarded with Evo content and probably bored with it by now, but I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you enjoyed the time with me. And at the very least, I hope you'll come back, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.
Spaß mache Rennsport.